And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Hello, I'm meteorologist David Kramer with Alaska Weather. Thanks for joining us for the general weather portion of our broadcast on September 8th. Starting off, we want to take a quick look at some of the flooding concerns we have out for the state around Kenai Peninsula area. The snow glacier dammed lake has started to release. We know this because we can see some of the stranded ice around the lakeside there as the water begins to recede. So what we know at this time is that the lake is currently releasing, and we do expect impacts along the Kenai River and Snow River. What we don't know is how much water was in the lake when it started to release, so it makes it difficult to forecast the crest height and timing of this flooding. So right now we have 2 flood warnings out for the Snow River and Kenai River. Those are going to be out through Monday, and we do expect some impacts to low-lying roads as well as campgrounds, specifically Primrose Campground. As we look at our map here, we can see those areas. The Snow River is one of the flood warnings. That does include Primrose Campground and the areas where Snow River goes into Kenai Lake. We also have one out for Kenai River from Cooper Landing through Ski Lac Lake. Again, both of these are out through Monday. We also have some wind advisories out for the state. Up in the northern interior, we have a wind advisory out, including Bettles area. It's going to be for winds up to as high as 40 miles per hour. It's going to be beginning this evening around 10 p.m. going into Sunday morning. We also have a wind advisory out for the eastern portions of the Alaska range. Could see winds up to as high as 55 miles per hour there. This one's going to be similar for timing, 10 p.m. this evening into Sunday morning. Taking a look at our satellite imagery, we can see 2 different systems impacting our area. One is out over the Bering Sea. Main low is up in the northern Bering Sea at this time, but tracking to the southeast towards the Pribilof Islands. The other system that we're watching is a North Pacific low that is pushing to the north into the Gulf of Alaska. You can already see lots of the cloud cover coming in, but that southerly flow is going to bring a good amount of moisture and some heavier rainfall, especially to areas along the North Gulf Coast, including Yakutat. So as we look for the remainder of the day at our weather, we do have that low tracking into the Gulf of Alaska, bringing rain to the southeast part of the state, as well as into south central and into the southern portions of the interior. Higher elevations, especially in the mountains, we are expecting to see some areas of snow as well. As we get farther to the north, Brooks Range and areas to the north fairly dry, but we do expect to see some fog up along the Arctic coastline that will linger there for a couple days. As we look out over the Bering Sea, our low is already bringing rain to the Pribilof Islands and all throughout the Aleutians as it starts to track more to the south and east. As we move into tonight, that low will be by the Pribilof Islands, starting to push rain even farther to the east to include the Alaska Peninsula. Not quite to southwest Alaska yet, but it is moving that direction. Our other low will have moved by the Kenai Peninsula, bringing rain throughout the North Gulf Coast, including the Panhandle and all of south central Alaska. Once again, the heaviest rainfall is going to be in the northern Gulf coastline to include the Yakutat area. There's going to be some lighter rain up in the interior, extending out to the western interior as well. Some areas of snow in the Brooks Range. Not a lot of new precipitation along the Arctic coastline for tonight, but we do expect that fog to linger. As we move into Saturday, the low that was over Kenai Peninsula have moved up into the interior mainland, bringing widespread rain to the west coast of the state throughout much of the interior and Brooks Range and down in south central Alaska. Still seeing some southerly flow out over the Panhandle area, bringing more rain to that area as well on Saturday. And then our other low will have tracked south of the Alaska Peninsula, continuing to bring rain through the eastern Bering Sea, central and eastern Aleutian Islands, out through the Kodiak Island area. As we move into Sunday, pattern becomes much weaker, a lot of weaker lows moving through the area, so we do expect some widespread rain, but probably lighter than what we'll see with those bigger systems moving through. So we do expect some rain out to the Bering Sea, down into the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, rain all along the west coast, much of the interior, and areas farther to the north through the Arctic coastline. Going to see some more rain in south central Alaska. We have 2 weaker lows moving through the Gulf as well, going to bring some more rain to the Panhandle on Sunday. For our lows for the Panhandle area, we do expect lows around 50 degrees Saturday morning for northern Panhandle and the mid-40s for areas to the south. For south central Alaska, temperatures dropping down into the lower 40s. Then Saturday afternoon, temperatures in south central picking up into the mid-50s. And down in the Panhandle, lower to mid-60s with the warmest temperatures farther to the south. Sunday morning dropping down into the 50s for the most part for the Panhandle area. And then for south central Alaska, dropping down into the lower 40s, mid-40s for Kodiak. Sunday afternoon highs getting up into the 50s all around south central Alaska, and then around 60 degrees in northern portions of the Panhandle, mid to upper 60s as we get farther to the south. As we look up to the north in the interior, we're going to see temperatures around 40s in the western interior and to the mid 40s as we get a little bit farther to the east, warmest there for Fairbanks. Up along the Arctic coastline, temperatures dropping down into the mid to upper 30s, and then around 40 for the west coast. Saturday afternoon highs getting up to around 50 degrees for the west coast, into the 40s for the Arctic coastline. Then in the interior, warmest temperatures are going to be out to the east, getting up into the mid 60s. Sunday morning lows dropping down to lower 40s for all of the interior, in the upper 30s for the Arctic coastline, and lower 40s for the west coast as well. Sunday afternoon highs getting up into the mid 40s along the west coast, lower to mid 40s up along the Arctic coastline. In the interior, still warmest farthest to the east, getting up into the 60s there, but only in the 50s for the western interior. For our lows for Saturday morning for Southwest Alaska, going to see temperatures in the upper 30s to near 40, lower 40s for the Alaska Peninsula, and near 50 degrees for the Aleutian Islands. Saturday afternoon highs getting up into the mid 50s for the Aleutians, 53 for St. Paul. Then in the Alaska Peninsula, we are going to see temperatures getting up into the lower 50s and the lower to mid 50s for Southwest Alaska as well. Sunday morning lows for Southwest dropping down into the lower 40s, mid 40s for the Alaska Peninsula, and near 50 degrees once again for the Aleutian Islands. Sunday afternoon highs getting up into the mid 50s for the Aleutians, as well as for the Alaska Peninsula, and then lower to mid 50s for Southwest Alaska. Quick look at our temperature outlooks for our climate. Up to the northern portions of the state, we have higher chances to be above normal for temperatures in our 6 to 10 day outlook. And then for the Panhandle area, chances are to be below normal in the 6 to 10 day, as well as for the Bristol Bay area and Kodiak Island. For our precipitation outlook for the 6 to 10 day climate outlook, in the lower portions of mainland Alaska, we do expect higher chances to be above normal there. That's going to extend down into the Panhandle as well, with the highest likelihoods to be above normal precipitation around that Yakutat area. Once again, I'm meteorologist David Kramer. Thanks for watching.